Hello, welcome to Center and Balance. My name is Jeanette, and this is going to be a 30-minute class working on both strengthening and lengthening, and doing that partially through balancing one side of our body with the other. So we're going to start standing. If you have difficulty balancing, as I do, you're going to go close to something that you can have a light touch on. So I'm going to use this pole on the Cadillac machine that's here. You could also use a wall or a chair, preferably a chair that the back of it reaches with an easy hand touch for you without having to lean over. It's important that you are keeping your posture here. So we're going to start with feet body width apart, even weight on both sides of the feet, the inside and outside. And then don't lock your knees, but don't bend them. Just have them unlocked. Find your neutral. Slightly tighten up your glutes, tighten up your quads and your abdominals. We're going to come up on tiptoe as we inhale and take our fingers to the ceiling. Exhale and come down. So let's do that 4 more times. So we're inhaling as we come up with a little pause, exhaling as we come down with a little pause. We have 2 more. We're feeling the calves warming up. We're feeling the shoulders warming up. Our torso is strong. Let's do 1 more here. And then let's go ahead and take our feet next to each other. Look down at the toes, make sure they're at 12 o'clock. And we're going to use the same arms. We're inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we come down. Be aware that all 5 toes, when they're on the floor, they're pressing on the floor. Trying to keep them on the floor. I know mine are changing. 2 more here. And then the last one, now we're going to take our heels together and rotate both our thighs and our feet out in first position. And we're going to take our arms up overhead on our sides. Let your shoulders rotate here however they naturally rotate. So if your palms end up going toward each other, that's fine. If your palms end up going forward, that's fine also. I want you to think about your neutral. Stay in a strong neutral as you're coming up on the balls of your feet. And then let's go ahead and relax here. Now we're going to take our feet wider and turn out and do the same arm motion for 5. So again, check your neutral, pubic bone and front of the hip bones on one vertical level. If you can see in a mirror, that's great. Inhale as you come up, exhale as you go down. Your legs are long and strong. There's a little bit of tension in them. Try not to roll on the outsides of the feet or the insides of the feet. I know that's something I struggle with. We're trying to stay in the center of the ball of the foot. Let's have this be the last one. And then release down. Turn your toes into parallel, pull your abs in, round your back, and have your forearms at your thighs. So you're gonna tuck your tailbone under here, tuck your chin under, pull your abs in. We're getting a long stretch of the spine, and our shoulders are rounding forward too. So we're getting across the back at the shoulders. Now keeping our forearms comfortably on our thighs, we're going to bring our bottom up and straighten our legs, feeling a little stretch in the back of the thighs now, but top of the head is down toward the floor. And then we're going to bend our knees and bring our bottom back down. We're keeping, and continue with that motion, we're keeping the curve in the spine the whole time. Now remember to slide your shoulders down away from your ears. Let's just do 1 more here. So the next time we're in the bent position at the knees, we'll pause right here, and then we're articulating through, bringing the chin up as the last thing. And then we're going to take our feet comfortably apart. So that might be hip joint width, that might be a little bit wider. I'm going to use my balance assistance now by putting my fingertips lightly on this pole that's right here. And I'm going to flat-footed on my right foot, pointing my left toe out in front of me, and then taking it directly to the side, and then taking it back, and then taking it to the side, and then taking it to the front again. So as you do this, I want you to keep your pelvis as still as possible. Keep your low back as stable as possible. Abdominals are in. You're going to feel that glute really tighten up when you take that leg back behind you. And you should feel the front of the thigh tightening up the whole time. Think of the right leg for a minute. That leg is nice and strong, but it's not locked at the knee. Let's do one more here. So full set. Good. Abs are in, nice strong core. Relax that. You can switch, turn around sides, or if your prop allows you to continue holding in the same place as mine does, we're going to do the other leg. Left foot is flat, toe taps the front, then out to the side, then behind you, back out to the side, and in front of you. So it's almost like your foot is sweeping the floor in a half circle motion, but I want you to have it a little bit off the floor, just an inch or so, and you can tap at each of those 3 points. Again, that's partially to have a balance touch to stabilize the whole body in connection with the brain. And then let's do 2 more here. Keep your abs in nice and strong. Remember, we're trying not to arch our back as our leg goes behind us. This will be the last set. Light touch with your hand if you're holding on to something, and release. So a little bit of hip work, a little bit of balance work, enhancing our core work. Now, if we want to, we're going to come up on the ball of the foot. So come up on a little bit of tiptoe, and we're going to do the same thing, but only 3 sets on each side instead of 5. So go ahead and bring both feet up on tiptoe. You decide how high you want to go. That has to do with the calf contraction. And then now take the left foot out. You probably aren't going to touch the floor here. And then come back to the side and behind you, to the side, and in front of you. Good. Keep that smooth motion. There's 2. Let's get one more. We're up on the ball of the foot on the right. We can take a rest at any time. And then release that. And then we're going to switch. So come up on both feet on tiptoe. Check that you're still in neutral. Your pelvis hasn't changed position. And then we're going to put all our weight on the left foot. Hold a moment and balance. Extend the right leg in front of you, not touching the foot, or excuse me, the floor. And then taking it out to the side and taking it behind you. And sweeping it back to those 3 points, ending up in front, ending up in back. We have one more. Keep that core nice and tight, nice and strong. And then bring it back. You're on both tiptoes. And then release. Let's go ahead and get a calf stretch here. So we're on flat foot now. And my left knee is forward, slightly bent. Right heel is back. I'm going to look at my back foot, my right one, and make sure my toes are going forward and not turning out. Press that heel into the floor and feel that calf stretch. And your right knee, the back knee, is straight. Now hold your body in this angled position but neutral and start to bend that right knee just a little bit. Feel that stretch go lower into the calf, closer to the ankle. And then straighten that right knee again and bend that right knee a little bit. And then stand on your left foot and just circle that ankle a couple of times each direction. And now let's go ahead and do the other side. So again, our feet are about hip width apart. All 5 toes are going at 12 o'clock. And then the forward knee, the right knee is slightly bent. The back knee is straight without locking. press the heel down and feel that calf stretch. By the way, we have a long lean from the top of the head to the back of the ankle. And then start to bend that back knee. It won't bend that far. And feel the stretch go a little bit behind the ankle, maybe the lower calf area. And then straighten it again. And bend it again. And then come up, put the weight on the right foot, stand comfortably in neutral, and circle that left ankle a few times each direction. Good, so we're gonna do one more balance standing work, and then we're gonna do some more stretching and take it down to the floor. So we're going to stand comfortably, feeling nice and solid, shift our weight over to the right foot, and lift the knee in front of us, and up to you whether you have your hand on something or not. Now your full right foot is on the floor. Try not to tighten that grip super hard of the foot against the floor. As you play with, can you take your hand off of what's assisting you? Tightening up your core, find your neutral. Now that knee that's up, the left knee, open it up. And then tap the leg down to the side, bring it back in, up, excuse me, and take it front. Tap the leg down to the side, bring it back up, open it with that 90-degree knee, and tap it out nice and long and strong. Continue this. So what we're doing is we're minimizing any movement in the pelvis as we do this. So your right glute is really tight, as is your right leg, helping to stabilize you. And your left leg is tight through the movement, but you're minimizing your pelvis movement or rotation, and so you might not get as big a range of motion as you want. Perfectly okay, as long as you're getting the work. And then let's take a rest. I'm gonna switch my direction on this one to make sure I have room to move my leg and still have something to hold on to. So our left foot is bearing the weight now. Our left knee is not locked. We're in neutral. Our right toe is pointed in front of us. And we bring the knee up at 90 degrees. And top of the knee is the same height as the bend in the hip. And then we open up and we extend the leg down. Top of the foot is going forward. So we're not rotating in that leg. So we would bring it up 90 degrees at the hip and the knee. Open it up, feel that glute working. Extend it down, keep the leg long. Bring it back up, bring it forward, extend it out. Let's get two more here. So think about your shoulders sliding down away from the ears. Think about how every time you exhale, you tighten up those core muscles a little bit, squeezing the ribs a little more tightly. This will be our last set. Feel the glute, feel both legs. And then release. So let's go ahead and do a figure four stretch while we're standing. So you might want some assistance on this one by having your hands on something. Let's start with the left leg and just round our back as we bend our right knee. Now I want you to stop with your shoulders a little bit above your hips, tailbone tucked. I want you to think about your two hips and see that you can get them as even as you can. So sometimes the left hip will drop here or it might come up. So just see where you need to be. Now, if you want to go to the floor, you can do that too. Whatever works for you. Keep your abs in. And then once you feel like, yeah, this is a good stretch, I want you to take that left hip and take it down an inch or two and bring it up 3 or 4 inches. So you're getting a little bit of up and down range of motion. Body weight is on the right foot, right knee is bent. Fingertips are either on the floor or the wall or a chair. Abdominals are in, shoulders are sliding down. And then we're gonna work our way up. So we were looking for a stretch throughout that left glute, kind of a surface area stretch. Not a deep one, but hopefully a good one. Now we're going to figure 4 on the other side. Round our back, tuck in. We go about halfway down, keeping our shoulders above our hips for a moment. Feeling the weight on the left foot on the floor, making sure it's solid. And then checking, are our hips about the same height? Then we decide, are we going all the way to the floor? Or are we going to keep our hands on the wall? And we bring our chest kind of toward our shin. We can decide maybe we want to bend our left knee more. Maybe we don't want to. And then you take that right hip down a couple inches and up about 4 inches. So you have a range of motion, very slowly, feeling the stretch in that right glute, maybe even the thigh, maybe even the waist, depends on where you're tight. And then let's go ahead and hold the next one, working our way back up the wall. And we're gonna get to the floor by doing a roll down and a walk out into a plank. We'll hold our plank there, and then we'll be working on the floor from there on. So let's stay flat-footed for now. In other words, not on our tiptoes. We're gonna inhale here. Exhale, articulate down, 1 vertebra at a time. You can bend your knees at any time. You gotta find the floor and walk your hands out as you inhale. Bend your knees and walk your hands out. And let's hold our plank. So your shoulders are over your wrists. If you wanna drop down to your elbows, feel free to do that. Press your heels away from you. Keep your abdominals in. Now feel the weight distribution, even in both hands, even in both feet. And let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, drop to your knees. And let's go ahead and go to a child's pose. So you can keep your knees together or you can separate them depending on how your knees feel. The top of the forehead is trying to reach for the floor as the palms of the hands are on the mat, extended beyond the head. Abdominals are in. Feel that stretch at the lats. Maybe even feel that stretch at the front of the ankle. Push your bottom towards your feet. Tighten up your abs. Very slowly start to lift your hips and head. And we're going to go back to another plank. So you decide if you want to do hands or forearms. I'm going to stay on my hands for this one. And then I'm going to switch to knuckles though, just for some wrist issues, so I can keep those wrists nice and straight and they don't have to bear so much weight. Elbows are slightly bent, body is elongated. You're on the balls of your feet, even between the right and left foot. And then you're on the center of the balls of the feet. Feeling the pressure there, not on the inside or outside of the foot. Slide your shoulders down. If your low back starts to feel like it's a little stressed, just very small, tuck your tailbone under, not even a full imprint. And let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, go ahead and drop one knee and then the other. And this time we're gonna go into a cat stretch. And we're gonna have our abdominals in nice and strong, tuck our chin. So we're almost looking at our belly button. That's how hard I want you to tuck that chin. And then your top of your ankles are on the floor, top of your foot is on the floor. Unless that bothers you, then you can keep your toes curled under like in a plank. And then I want you to take your bottom halfway to your feet and feel how now the stretch changes a little bit to the low back. Keep those abs in and keep this position. And walk your hands to the left. Let your shoulders follow and your torso follow. So your chest is moving to the left. But keep your right hip back. Your neck is still elongated. In other words, your chin is still tucked, but probably not as intensely. Press your right shoulder down away from the ear and feel how that adds to the stretch. Now press your right hip back. There may not be any movement, but you'll feel the intensity of the stretch increase. And then you're going to walk your hands back to center. Rebalance solidly, evenly. Keep your abs in. Walk your hands to the right of your mat now and hold this one. So reminders, press your left shoulder down away from your ears. Tuck your tailbone under. Push your left hip away from you like it's trying to go toward that left foot, keeping the tailbone tucked under. Abs are in. And then come back to center. And then let's come up with our knees and hips straight, but our head and shoulders hanging. So articulating through very slowly. And then the chin is the last thing to come up. And let's look to the left with that nice neutral spine. So our glutes are slightly engaged, our back is slightly engaged, retracting our shoulders, pulling our shoulders back. And then look to the center, and then look to the opposite way. So we're getting a little bit of a neck stretch here. So we're looking outward, away from the center line of the body, making our chin go as much as possible over the shoulder. That's directional, not exact. And then come back to center and circle the shoulders twice. And then relax. We're going to go into some side planks now. So I'm going to show the first level on the knees, and then I'll show the feet. If you already know how to do the feet, go ahead and come up. I'm going to show this on the elbow. I like elbows and knee combination better than knee and hand combination. Bring the knees slightly in front of the hips. You'll take your pelvis forward when you go up. The knees are bent so the feet is behind you. Elbow is actually slightly in from your shoulder because when you come up, you'll realign it. Have your right hand or your ceiling hand in front of you. Inhale, exhale, and lift that ceiling arm and straighten your pelvis up. So your knees are stacked one on top of the other. Your ceiling hand fingertips to the ceiling, nice and elongated, like it's reaching for the ceiling. So this would be level one. We can also do it with knees slightly bent and come up on the feet. Feet are stacked one on top of the other. And then try to keep your neck in alignment here, not letting either ear go closer to the shoulder than the other one. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bend the knees and lower the hips. And then let's go ahead and flip over and do the same side. And I'm gonna show both levels again just to keep my body even. If you did both levels, do the same thing here. If you went right into feet, go ahead and do that. Inhale here, exhale, and lift up. Now this time we're gonna look at our pelvis and see that it's vertical. So we're not rotated back, nor are we rotated forward. Same with our chest. We're going to make our fingertips go to the ceiling. Tighten up our glutes a little. So this would be level one. And you gotta pull out of that shoulder that's on the arm that's on the floor. And then our next level up would be from the feet. And then if we just switched, go ahead and check that everything's nice and straight. Slide the shoulders away from your ears. Keep your neck as in line with your spine as possible. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Bend your knees, bend your hips, and come down. Good. Well, I felt that. I hope you felt that too. Let's go ahead and sit cross-legged. We worked a little bit of the obliques, and of course we worked all the abdominals and the circumference of the torso there, really from the shoulders to the hips. Now we're going to stretch the obliques. So we're sitting up evenly on both halves of our bottom, and our legs are just comfortable, whatever that is for us. We take our right hand and put it on the floor up next to our right side, and we're going to keep our bottom even as we start to curve our right waist and walk our fingers away from ourselves, our body, Lift your chest a little. Now hold about halfway here with a bent elbow just going toward the floor. Push that left hip down. Your body weight shifted to the right. Keep your abs in and use the muscle to push the hip down, even though the body weight stays on the right. Now start to bend that elbow, the right one, and see where it goes. You don't have to touch the floor, but it's like you're trying to bring the elbow to the floor. By the way, you can bring the elbow closer to you and touch the floor if you want to see what that feels like. It might add to it, or having your arm further out might add to it. So see which is best for you, but we're getting a stretch on that left side. Now let's take our left arm up, palm going the same direction as the top of our head. Right now it's straight, kind of in line with our shoulder. And now I want you to curve that arm and take those fingertips going the same direction as the top of the head, and see how that adds to that left side of the stretch, that left body stretch. And then you're going to take that arm down, that left arm down, and you've brought your elbow in now so it's under your shoulder. And then with your right hand, push yourself up very slowly. Nice, love that stretch. I hope you guys do too. So now, even the weight back, take your left hand and put it on the floor in line with your torso, in line with your shoulders. Start to walk your fingers out, even the weight on both halves of your bottom. Curve your spine to the left, so your rib cage is kind of reaching down toward the floor, or reaching to the hip. And then you're starting to press that right hip down. Now that the weight has gone fully on the left, the right glute is still in contact with the floor. And then you decide if you want your elbow close, and you push that elbow down to the floor, or you can even kind of rest on it, or you want it extended. Now I noticed today on me, my elbow, even when I pull it close, it's not touching the floor. That just tells me that this side of my body is a little bit tighter than the other, and that's okay. Let's take our fingertips up to the ceiling. What you want to be aware of is what side of your body is a little tighter, what parts are a little tighter, and then just work on stretching those a little bit more. And now we take our fingertips going the same direction as our top of our head with a bent elbow, pressing that right hip down. Now slide your shoulders down away from your ears so your neck doesn't get tight. And then bring your arm down first, and then using your left hand, push up very slowly, because that's a rather intense stretch. Circle the shoulders. And then we're going to extend our legs long in front of us. If we can normally touch our toes when we do a roll down, we're going to have our legs together. If we can't normally touch our toes, we're going to take our feet about as wide as our body. I want you to go ahead and flex your ankles so you get some hamstring stretch here too. If your feet are wide, you're going to have your hands in the center of or between them, and you're going to start to slide and round your back. And maybe you're going to grab the inner calf, see wherever you go, or maybe if you're grabbing the feet. And the same thing if your feet are together, but you're probably going to go outside your feet to grab. And then try to elongate your torso. So we're thinking of taking the chest toward the thighs more than we're thinking of taking the head toward the knees. And then go ahead and release that, sit up tall. Now take your fingertips behind you, kind of lined up with your shoulders, both vertically and in width. And lean back a little, getting the palms down. Now we don't have hardly any body weight on our hands right now. It's all our abs holding us up. And then I start to lean back further and further, letting my elbows bend and feeling that stretch in the front of the shoulder. By the way, if this is uncomfortable on your low back or your legs, just bend your knees a little and see if that helps. And then feel that stretch in the front shoulder. If it's uncomfortable on your neck, you can try tucking or letting your head go back just a little. You decide how much to bend your elbows, and then push yourself with your arms as you pull yourself up with your abdominals. I want to get an inner thigh stretch here too. We're going to do this one sitting up in neutral. You can also lie down on your back on this one. So if you have trouble sitting up tall with your legs open in neutral, lie down on your back and do the same thing. So we found our neutral pubic bone and hip bones on one vertical level. We're not enhancing our lumbar curve, pressing our chest out. We're just in neutral. And then I like to grab my ankles to start. Some people like to grab their feet. If you do grab your feet and you lean forward, try to come back to neutral so your shoulders are over your hips. Once my inner thighs start to stretch a little, then I usually switch my hand grip to my feet. So kind of play with that and see what's most comfortable for you. Pull your abs in, bend your elbows slightly as you pull your shoulders down, pulling against your feet, using your leg muscles to press your knees toward the floor, trying not to lean forward or arch your back. Let's breathe 2 more times deeply here. And round your back by just releasing it and release your feet. Let your knees come up first. Extend them just a little bit. Keep the knees bent. Let them fall open just so they're comfortable now and not stretching. And then I just want to stretch the neck. So sit up nice and tall. Tuck your chin toward your chest. Now your chest is lifted. I want you to engage your back muscles, press your shoulders down. And then I want you keeping your chin in this direction to take the top of your head toward your left shoulder, not over your left shoulder, just toward it. Feel in the stretch switch to the right back neck. Come back to center. And then just tilt your head over. So your eyes are now going toward your right shoulder. Maybe it's more, for me, it's more my right bicep. And then come back to center and take it up nice and slow, relaxing the shoulders. And you're done. Thank you for joining me for Center and Balance. See you next time.